Code Afric. Unlock the future.
All right, guys, welcome back to this beautiful and awesome lesson. On our previous episode, we were able to build this service mockup here, and we did everything with the hoovering and all this styling. Okay, so we are taking a step ahead, and in this episode, we are going to look at how we can build this work section here. You can see that we have a work mockups here, and you can see when you hover over it, it animates nicely, and it also have another feature that when you click on it, okay, it opens it right in your browser where we can preview left navigation here and the right navigation here where we can navigate to different gallery. All right, so we are going to build this with the help of jQuery, and also we will look at some CSS3 styling, and we will also be using some Bootstrap implementation. All right, so without much ado, guys, let's dive in. All right, so now let's begin with a comment. Okay, so I'll copy this one. Let's change the name to Works Mockups. Let's say start, okay? And let's end it here. And we say ends. All right, so now inside here, I'll begin with section. So my section tag like this, and inside I'll create a class and I'll name the class as work. Then I'll give it an ID. Why am I giving it an ID? I'll use the ID side for navigations. So I'll give it an ID of works. Then I'll break it like this. All right, let's implement some Bootstrap features, and I will start with a div, with a class, then I will say container. Now inside this container, let's put a row, okay? So a div with a class row. And again, Bootstrap is all about classes, okay? Don't forget about that. It's all about classes, a div, classes, and containers. All right. So inside this row, let's put some column. And to begin with, if you come here and check how many columns do we want? We want 4 columns in each row. Okay, so we can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. And in Bootstrap building system, to get the 4 columns, we need how many? We need 3. Okay, so 4, 3 will give us 12. All right. Now let's begin with a div. Then we will say class, then column MD. Then we say 3. Okay, something like this. And we need it how many times? We need it 3 times, making 4. Okay, so if you can check from here, 3, 6, 9, and we have our 12. All right. All right, so before we move on, let's work with the responsiveness. Okay, with the responsiveness, this one I said when we are on the medium screen, which is a laptop screen, we are getting the 3. But what if we are on SM, which is tablet? This one is small. Okay, what if we are on a small screen, which is tablet? We still want it 3. I will explain. Okay, but what if we are on even extra small, that is XS? Even that one too, we still want it 3. Okay, why am I using this kind of grid system here? It is because when we check our project from our browser, okay, even on the phone screen size, we can see that it still have this same layout. Okay, all right, even though the features will be small, but we still have the same layout. That is why we are setting it like that. All right, now back to our VS Code. So what we do is that we grab this code. We have to grab the code. The responsiveness, let's just apply it to all like this and this and this. Okay, so something like this. All right, so now I will create a class. Inside here, I will create a div with the class. I'll call the class img, which is image what wrapper. All right, something like this, and I'll close it here. Now here I need an anchor tag because our image should be clickable. Okay, so that when we click on it, it can also open inside the browser. So I will use an anchor tag with an href. Let's leave this one. So inside our anchor tag, let me call my first image. So I'll do img, then the source will be my image folder. Then what's the name of my image is 1.png, something like this. Okay. All right. So here I'll give it a class, okay, a predefined class in Bootstrap called img responsive, so that our image will be responsive. Okay, so here inside this href, remember this is an anchor tag. So when we click on it, what should happen? Then I will say when we click on it, I want my image, which is this image, okay, to open, and I'll give it a title. All right, and with a title, how should we call the title? Now let me show you. you can give all the images a title that you want. Okay, so for instance, when you click on this one, it says what? You can give a title, a specific title, but this one I use an default one, says what? Image description will be here. So you can give it a specific title. And that is what we put here. Okay, so I have it here. Image description will be here. And for your work, okay, please, you as a student, make sure you put the right title here. Okay, we want the right title. It could be an office PC, teamwork, or whatsoever. However you want to name your images, do it like that, and let's move on. Now, before editing, let's save our project and let's check it in our browser. So back to our browser, and you can see we have our image here. All right, so when I click on it, you can see that it opens. It opens inside the browser. Awesome, we are moving forward. For the title, it will come later. All right, so now that we have our image appearing nicely, what we do from here is that we'll copy. Let's copy it again. We are back with this copy and pasting again, but be careful. Okay, so we copy from this div to this closing div, then we paste it inside here. We paste it. Okay, in order not to be confused, let's do something like this. Then we come to the third one. We open it up. We paste it. Let's put a space. Then the last one also we paste. We open it up, then we paste it. You can choose to leave a space like this. You can choose to ignore it. I think I don't need this space. I want my code to be nice. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so you can see how my code is being zigzagged. Okay, something like that. If you check through, you can see by arrangement, it has been zigzagged, something like that. All right. Now, before anything, let's save it and check it from the browser. And you can see that we have them appearing here. All right. Even though it is not well arranged, but we will do everything. Okay, so now let's change the images. Okay, let's change the images. So we are through with the one, so let's go to the second one. That we give it 2. That is how I've named my images, so you can do that in order not to stress yourself. Then I'll come to this place and make it 3. Then with the last here, make it 4. All right, let's check it again. Okay, you can see that the images has been changed. All right, so now we need another layout. Okay, at the bottom section like this one. Okay, we need a layout like this one. And to do that, as we all know, if you love typing, then you have to type the whole thing all by yourself, starting from here. Okay, starting from here, you have to type the entire thing all by yourself. But if you don't like typing, then you have to be extra vigilant whilst you are doing your copying and pasting. So let's see how we can do that. Now, begin from the row. We are not starting from the row, but I'm using the row as an indicator. So when I click on it like this, this one is showing me where the row ends. So the last div before the row, that is where I'm starting my copy. The last div before the row, that is where I will start. All right, so now it is coming from what line? 226, that is here. Okay, so I'll have to highlight from here to this point. Okay, to this point. All right, so on Mac, why I click here, I only have to hold shift then click here and it will highlight it for me. All right, on Windows 2, I think it worked the same. All right, so now that it has been highlighted, I will carefully copy. It has been copied. Then I will step out from this place twice. Then I'll paste them here. All right, now for me to know that I am on the saver side, I only have to save it and check it for my browser. All right, so now that you have carefully pasted it, let's check in a browser, okay, and see the results. Awesome, awesome. Now the next thing to do is that we have to change the image's name, okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So where ends our 4th image? So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we continue from here. So here will be 5. So we don't have the 7th image. So what we do is that we will repeat it. Let's use 1 for this place. Then we use 2 for here. All right, now let's save it and check. Awesome. Let's compare it to the original. Okay. All right, I think we are on the saver side. All right, so now before we step into the CSS, if you check this one from the original, you can see that there are some margin here. Okay, there's some space here, very large one. Okay, now let's use HTML to do that. Okay, so inside our VS Code, right from this place. Now let's use the BR tag, okay, in order not to stress ourselves that much. Let's use the line break. So we can apply the line break here. I think we need it about 5 times. All right, now let's check. No, it's this one. Okay, now we have it. Okay, all right. Then the next thing to do again is that when you check from the original, the image has covered the full width. All right, you can see that it has expanded to the full width. But on our work, we don't have it like that. There are some margin here and here. All right. So now, how do we do that? We can use CSS to widen it, but let's not stress ourselves that much. Let's just come to the HTML, and here, like I explained from the Bootstrap class, with a container, we have two types. Okay, we have the container. The container itself is a default one, and we also have the one called the container field. Okay, we have the one called the container field. Okay, so now this will help you to know the difference better. All right, so now let's save it and check. Okay, so you can see that with the container field, it has expand to the full width as expected. All right, so the container will give you more margins here. It will add some margins here, but the container field will expand it for you nicely also. Then again, when we check, okay, we don't have any spacing between here, but unlike our project, there's a huge spaces between here. So before we enter into our CSS course and class, I would like to create a class so that I use that one to style it inside our role. So I'll call a class called no gutters, something like this. Now let's step into our CSS. All right, so inside our CSS, let's begin with a comment. So I'll copy this one. Let me remove the spacing here. I'll copy this one. I'll paste it, then change the name. All right, so work styles. Then I think we can end it here. All right, so now to begin with, we have to reference this row. Okay, we have to reference the row, this one, the row class, and also the no getters that we created. Okay, so I'll do dot row dot no getters. All right, now I'll use a square bracket. Okay, and I'll give it a class. I'm targeting all at a go. Okay, then I'll give it times column. Then I will leave it like this. Now inside here, I'll give it a padding left of 0, then the padding right of 0. All right, so before anything, let's save it and check. So when I check, it is not working. Okay, it's not taking effect. Okay, so let's go and find out the reason. Okay, sorry. I need an equal to sign here. Okay, something like this. Now let's check it again. And this time you can see that it has been perfectly aligned. Okay, comparing to this one. Okay, all right. Now we need to work on the hover effect here. When we hover over it, you can see how it animates like this. We need something like that. All right, so now we use the CSS3 features to do that. And to begin with, I have to target what my image wrap. That is, where is it? You see here, my image wrap. Okay, class. I need this one first. So I'll come to my CSS and I'll do .img dash wrap a image img wrapper. Then I'll give it an overflow. Then I'll say hidden. All right. So the next thing to do is to also reference my image wrap and my image class. So you can see with this an image wrap, I also need this img. Okay. So it will be .img wrapper, then img. All right, something like this. Then I'll give it a transition effect. So I'll do transition. Then I'll say trans. Okay, so transform. Then I'll give it 0.5 seconds. Then I'll give it ease, not easing. Okay, I'll give it ease. All right, something like this. Then here I will call for a width of 100%. Now, as it stands now, if you save it and check, we will not have much. Okay, we will not have anything. Why? Because you have not applied the hover effect. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now I will do .img wrapper, then I'll do image img, then img, then I have to apply the hover. Okay, and I'll do hover, something like this. Then inside I'll do transform. Let me do transform. Then I'll give it a scale of 1.5, something like this. Then if possible, let's give it a cursor. Let's give it a cursor effect. Then we give it a zoom. zoom in. Let's say zoom in. All right, now let's save it and check. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Friends, you can see we did it. Okay, we did it. It is looking awesome. All right, and what this one does is that it is the cursor zoom that is giving us these features. When I cut it, you can see that our mouse does not have any zoom. Okay, so it is a cursor zoom that is giving us that features. Okay, so you can see. All right, so you can see the cursor has turned to zoom. And then again, if you can check, it is giving the image description. Okay, the image title. All right, now on the left, we will see how to create the image click. For now, when I click it, we don't have much. So we work on that one using some jQuery plugins. All right, so till then, happy coding. Welcome back, friends. We are continuing. Okay, now on our previous lesson, we were able to build this one, but then when we click on it like this, you can see that it doesn't function well in comparing to the original. When you click on it, it has a left and right navigations. This one doesn't work that way, so we need to work that one out by the help of some jQuery plugins. Okay, now let's dive in. So you come here, you come to your Google search. Okay, then you just search for magnific pop-up. Okay, magnific pop-up. Click on that, and when you click on that, the first one on your screen. Okay, just click on that. All right, so you'll be redirected to a page like this. Okay, now to explore and know more about it, we can click on any of the images here. For instance, if I click on the tiger here, now we can see that it is giving me the left navigation, the right navigation that I can navigate. Okay, something like this. Okay, so this is how it works, the features. All right, now to know more about this site, you can come to the documentation here. All right, and you can read more and learn more about it from here. But even from this very line, you can see that it works with what? CSS. Okay, we need a CSS. It works with the CSS and jQuery and also JS, which is our JavaScript. All right, and you can see that here with the documentation, it is telling us how we can also apply it. Okay, by linking it with the document that's ready with a function and with your image link and to your image. All right, it's very simple as that. But I normally prefer the GitHub to the rest. Okay, so we will use the GitHub. Click on the GitHub, and from here, what we do is that we just have to come to the clone, and the very bottom here, just click on the download, and let's download the zip file. All right, the zip file is ready. Click on it. My machine will unzip it for me like this. So I'll just have to open it. Now, the folder that I need right now is this one. Okay, the dist. All right, now I need two files from here. All right, I need two files from here inside my project folder. The first file that I think I need a CSS file. It contains CSS file and a JavaScript file. So you can see that it has a magnific popup.css. So I'll copy this one inside my CSS folder. Then I will come to my JS folder also and look for the minify version. So you can see jQuery.magnific popup.main.js. All right, so I'll copy this one. Now I am done. Now let's go ahead and link our files. Okay, so I'll start with the CSS. So to start with the CSS, I'll come to before the beginning of the font awesome. Here, let me pass some comments. So I'll copy this comment here. I'll paste it right here, and I'll change. All right, I'll name my comment magnific popup CSS file. Okay, then I'll end it here. CSS file ends. Okay. All right, so inside here is where I'm going to place my links. All right, so I'll start with a link tag. Then I'll need an href with a CSS. Then I'll reference my file here, magnific popup.css. Right, then I'll give it a reference of styles. Okay, so then I'll say style sheet. Then I'll give the type of test/css. All right, so let's indent it well. I think the closing should be here, something like this. Then, all right, so something like this. All right, so now that we've linked our CSS, let's go ahead and link our JS also. So I'll also pass a comment. Sorry, we will link our jQuery. Okay, I also pass a comment and I'd like to link it. I pass the comment somewhere here. Okay, so inside here, let me change this one. So I'll say JS file. So here, I'll start with a script, and here I'll give it a source src. Then I'll say JS slash. Then I'll come to my jQuery dot magnific popup dot main.js. Then outside here, I'll give it a type of test slash JavaScript. All right, guys. So now we have linked our CSS and our jQuery. So now that it has been linked, we need to initialize it in our JS folder, okay? And to begin with, let's go back to the documentation. Let me show you something. So let's go back. So we come to the documentation, and from here, you can see how to use it. We first have to link, and we are through with the linking with the CSS and with the jQuery. All right, now when you scroll down, I can choose to start with this one, but you can see that here, after we link the CSS, you can also choose this one, okay? But I prefer this one. Okay? So with a parent container, we are having an A here because this A is what a child item, okay, selected. Okay, so with a type and with the image. So I would like to go with this one rather. So let's copy this one and send it to your JS folder and paste it in like this. Okay, so as you can see from here, we need a parent container. So back to our HTML, and let me ask you a question. So when it comes to, where are you? Okay, when you come here, okay, so when we come inside this place, okay, inside our HTML, which of these can be classified as the parent container? Sure, you got it. It's not a container field, okay, because that one also comes under the work. So the work rather will be the parent container, okay, because that is the first class that we initialize. Now copy the work, or better still, you can come and type them. You can come and type them inside your JS. So you can clear this one, then we do work, something like this. All right, now let's save it and see if we have a result at all. All right, so now click on it, and we don't have any results. That means there's something wrong with our code. So let's go straight into where we linked our project. Okay, our jQuery is here, and the magnific pop-up, and let's check the test. Okay, so it's JavaScript. Okay, there's an A here. All right, please be mindful with the spellings, okay, else you'll not get an accurate work. Now let's check it again. Let's click on it, and there we go. Awesome. Okay, you can see that now we have our closing tag here, and the description also is here. Okay, awesome. Now you can see that it is working, but it is not as the original. This is the original. Okay, the original have a navigation arrow, okay, that we can click left and right, and this one doesn't have it. So let's go ahead and work on that one too. All right, now to do that, let's get back to the documentation. So you see here, this is what we copy first. Now let's look for gallery, the place that we'll find the gallery. I think it's here. Okay, it's here. The gallery is here. Now I'll copy it from here to this point. Okay, here. Okay, now let's grab the code and let's enter into our VS Code and into our main.js. So inside the order option here, let me replace it with main.js. Okay, so the indentation of the code, let me get it something like this. All right, as it stands here, it seems there's error in the code because the gallery has been underlined, and I can see it from here. We don't need this comma, number one, and also we need a comma rather here. All right, so now let's check it in our projects and let's see if we are having the results at all. All right, so back to our projects. Let me refresh first. And when I click on it, boom, friends, we did it. Awesome. Wow, we can see it is working perfectly. Oh, wow, we did it. All right, so congratulations, guys, we were able to build our work section. Now let's enter into our VS Code and let's commit the changes. Okay, so far. All right, so now let's pass our commit message. I'll come here, then I will say magnific pop-up for work section rendered successfully. So magnific pop-up for work section rendered successfully. Okay, so now I will commit, then I will come here, can come to the terminal and open the terminal and let's push it. Okay, so git push -u origin main, enter. Alright guys, our project has been pushed successfully. Let's meet on the next section and learn more. So till we meet again, keep coding.